Test one, two, test. Pineapple. Pineapple. All right, how's it sound?
Perfect.
Perfect pineapple. All right. Ready when you are, sir.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and I'm a smart person.
Dude, are you burning a flag? You know that's illegal now. You can go to jail for a year for that.
Wait, what?
I
The
don't know if
Supreme
you.
Court ruled that we could burn as many flags as we want, right?
They've actually twice ruled that it's protected speech under the First Amendment. But as of today, Donald Trump signed that into law, which I don't know how that's going to play out at all because, like, the president can't sign an executive order and create a law. That's not how any of this works.
Right.
I don't know who would challenge. Somebody's going to get challenged and go before the Supreme Court. What's weird is Republicans have the 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court right now, so that might get overturned. Maybe it will be illegal. I don't know. I've said this on our show before. I've never ever wanted to burn an American flag, and I generally think that people that burn one are stupid. Like I'm not for burning the flag, but I very much believe that's what makes America great is that they can do it and it's protected. In a lot of countries, you can't do that. You will go to jail for a long time.
Yeah, and it's free speech.
It is. He's tempting
So
me right now because I part of me wants to burn a flag in protest, but like that's let me make this point real quick. I think he knows that it's going to get overturned. That this will nobody's ever going to get charged with burning a flag like this. Nobody will get charged under his statute, but he knows that by doing this, the left is going to rush out and start burning American flags in protest, and that's what he wants. He wants images on Fox News and Newsmax of the left burning American flags, so we can say, "Look, these people hate America." I think this is
yeah,
he's trying to do 3D chess here. I think
it's another distraction too. I mean,
it's a great
but
distraction.
in his speech, he was talking about like there's people burning flag. He made it sound like everybody's burning flags on every street corner.
All right, let's play this real quick. I had this
Okay.
for later in the show, but this is him today in the Oval Office.
Let's go.
Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But there's another reason, which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it.
He's what?
People go
So
crazy like we've never seen before.
what did he say at the beginning? People all over the place are burning flags left and right. He didn't say that word for word, but that's basically he's like people are burning flags everywhere. And
Yeah, he
I,
said all over the country, people burning flags. All over the world, people are burning
okay,
the U.S. flag. That's what he
so
said.
let's take a second here and realize that there's different media bubbles. And is
Uh-huh.
there a chance that people on Fox News are seeing clips all day long of people burning American flags that me and you aren't seeing? Because I'm not seeing
Uh,
it. To me, it
I
doesn't seem like this is a problem at the moment.
I can imagine that Fox News would. I wouldn't put it past them to put together a compilation of flag burning from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s up until
Yeah.
today, and put a compilation together. And then he saw that compilation somewhere. Maybe it's Ben Shapiro or somebody else, but like
Eh,
he saw it and he's like, people are burning flags everywhere.
that's true. I don't know. It and I so I did I saw one flag get burned today, and it was a guy who was probably 55 to 60, like a white boy, like good old boy. He looked like a Trump voter, and he was a 20-year U.S. Army veteran, and he right in front of the White House like did a protest type speech about how he fought for our country and he loves America, but like the thing he loves most about it is that you can burn a flag. And then he lit a flag on fire, and like cops were standing there watching him. Like this, it didn't go the way he wanted. He was like, "What? I'm supposed to be arrested, right? Like according to Donald Trump." And like he basically begged them to arrest him, and finally they were like, "All right, let's put him in cuffs." And he was
Oh, they
like, "Oh,
did?
see, I'm being arrested." And it was like, like I'm sure that somebody's gonna cut that up to where the left will see it and be like, "Look, they were." But now, if you see the whole clip, like he was basically telling them, "You're supposed to arrest me. Get over." The cops
Yeah.
didn't want to. They were anyhow.
Yeah. So he was doing it. Maybe he's got a good lawyer and he's gonna sue and it's gonna be
This
part
is
of a
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't. You can't. The president can't make a law by executive order. Like there's a whole process of how a bill becomes a law. Do you remember Schoolhouse Rock when we were little? Like the bill singing on the steps of the
Oh yeah.
cap.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
process, and it doesn't go straight to the president signing an executive order. So there's no way
Nope.
this holds up. But if
Nope.
he if he gets people to start burning flags in protest, he wins. Like that's what sucks. Like I want to make a video to the left right now and say, don't take the bait. Like this is the bait, and he's gonna win this culture war if we start burning flags.
Well, here's the thing. If there are people burning US flags in America and across the world, like he said, it's in protest of him and his administration.
Well,
That's
but
the only thing that they're protesting. So then
not
doesn't that make him look bad?
so not the only thing, because like I'll bet so in America, I'm not seeing flags getting burned on a regular basis. I'll bet in Gaza, there's probably American flags getting burned along with Israeli flags. I bet there's places in the world who are probably rightly upset with us for one reason or another and burn our flag. I could see that in
Yeah.
several. I hate to be put a religion to this, but I'll bet there's several Muslim countries that burn our flags quite regularly because we've destroyed their country by the war on terror and whatnot. But
Okay.
in
Okay.
America, I feel like this isn't anywhere near the top 10 problems we're facing. Like we
No.
haven't had a rash of flag burning.
And it's not in the top 1 billion problems we're
Yeah.
facing right now, dude.
It's crazy the things he chooses to focus on, but like, yep, today's the day, no more flag burning,
Mm,
which is only going to cause an increase in flag burning, sadly. Like,
probably.
I'll,
I kind of want to burn a flag too now.
I'm not going to lie, it's tempting at the moment because like I have this weird, like, even though we have roughly 25 to 1,000 listeners per episode, like, I feel like I'm speaking truth to power to a little bit. It's like, yeah, like, no matter, like, the more he does this, it makes me want to keep doing our little podcast here and just calling it out, like, for the
Hmm.
whole, he will not silence me. And, like, the reality is nobody is listening to us, so we're not really speaking truth to power. But I have like a chip on my shoulder where I'm like, we got to keep doing this. And, like, that same chip makes me want to go burn a flag now. But, like I said, if I did that, he would win.
1 year in prison.
Yeah, I can't do a year in prison. I'm soft.
Yeah, that would suck.
I'm fragile.
So
Uh,
does it matter what kind, like what if it's like a cheap little, flag that you hang on your car or whatever? Can you burn that?
I don't think so now.
Or does it have to be like a professional, like American flag, like a,
I just think it. So here's a side story to this. There's a U.S. flag code, and I don't even want to pretend I know what the flag code is. But it's funny because like the people that like have T-shirts with the American flag or the different things, like Donald Trump likes to autograph American flags. Like apparently
yeah,
all of those things are against like the code for the flag and are
100%.
disrespectful to the flag. So there's a lot of hypocrisy going on there. Like I said, I don't want to pretend to be an expert, but
You're not supposed to let it touch the ground. When you fold it up, you got to fold it a certain way.
yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of things.
you definitely can't beat cops to death with it at the or not to death, but beat cops with it at the Capitol on January 6th.
No,
Remember
you
how many
can't.
American flags were
Yeah, you
that's
can.
yeah,
That's legal now.
I don't know. I
They all got released.
I'll tell you this. There there has been so much today. Even this is another one, just like our last show. I got home from soccer practice tonight and there's new breaking news that I have to put at the top of my little list here. But
Oh,
like
what is it?
today was enraging for me. I just want to say, like, I've done very good for the first 7 months of the Trump term, where like I see things that would have upset me, but I'm doing good at like not getting upset about it, kind of laughing it off. And like that's I've been trying really hard. And like there were 3 or 4 times today where I caught myself like blood pressure rising, like getting a little pissed at what I was listening. He spoke for an hour in the Oval Office this morning,
It's
taking
horrible.
questions. Every answer was worse than the one before. Like he kept, and I was like, oh my god. But before we get to that, real quick, he has been threatening to fire Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, for the past I don't know how many months, and then recently he got a new target. It's like I think she's like the governor of the Fed or something. She's like just under Jerome Powell,
Yeah.
black lady named Lisa Cook. And like, I don't know, a week ago, he said that, oh, my Commerce Department just happened to notice that she's lying on her mortgage applications. And like, they claim that she claimed residency in two different states, claimed primary residency.
Right.
If she really did, I think that's wrong. I mean, I don't know anything about mortgage applications, but A, that's one of those where like he said, "Hey, all you different departments look into these people and find something I can use." And so that wasn't like they just happened to come across it. That was
Right.
targeted, a fishing expedition where that's what they found. And he said a couple days ago that either she needs to quit, she got to resign, or I'm going to fire her. Well, tonight he fired her. So
What's her position?
she is the governor of the Fed, I think. Yeah, she's the governor of the Federal Reserve is what it says.
So what I just heard was like there's three of them, right? There's three in those higher positions,
And then Jerome Powell is on top of them.
and then Jerome Powell, and Trump has hired all the other two, and he wants this third one to be a Trumper.
Yeah, because together, all three of them can kind of force Powell's hand, which Powell already said the other day that he's probably going to have to cut rates a little bit in September. And it's simply because of the jobless numbers. Remember they had those revisions a couple weeks ago to the jobs report for May, June, and July. And if he cuts rates, it's going to make inflation go higher. It's such a balance where like you don't want to have to cut rates when you're trying to battle inflation because no matter
Yeah.
what, that's going to cause a spike in inflation, but it'll help bring jobs back. So it's a balancing act. And right now,
Hmm.
inflation is still it's under 3 kind of, so they're gonna cut rates slightly. Trump wants them to cut rates big time.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have pulled stuff on this, but like Turkey and Argentina are prime examples of like what can go wrong here because both of those countries, Erdogan in like 2020 or 2021 basically removed the entire like their version of the Fed and replaced them with loyalists, and they immediately cut rates, and then they topped at 86% inflation, and
Holy moly.
I think they're still sitting at like 38% inflation,
What are we at right now?
3.7.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Under Biden in 2022, it got up to like 9.1, and then that was just like a quick spike and get back down.
That was the pandemic, right?
Yeah, that was coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
Turkey's sitting at like 38% right now. I think Argentina's at like 54%, but their new president, he's the one that gave Elon the chainsaw on stage at CPAC.
Yeah.
I can't Malay or I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, that's
But he did the same kind of thing, and their inflation spiked out of control. So like we have in the past 6 years, 5 years, we've got two really good examples of what happens when a president takes control of like the monetary board, and neither case went well, and Trump just thinks that it's going to work for him. So
well, because number wise it looks good, but people are gonna hurt, right?
no, so inflation wise, it's going to cause inflation to spike almost instantly. So
Okay, so here's so I think what he really wants to do, and this is me speculating and actually maybe giving him too much credit,
okay.
is he wants to bring down the interest rate so that he can refinance our debt at a lower interest rate.
He's pretty much said that. Like, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not our
Okay.
entire debt, but like 10 trillion of it needs to be refinanced, and he wants to do that. Now, to do that, he's gonna cause a spike in inflation. Now, it'll help my job. Like, I'll be honest with you, like if interest rates go down, home sales will pick back up, and like that will
Hmm.
be good for business for me. But it'll cause inflation, and like they call it like runaway inflation, but like yeah, I told you last time, like you can't just like there's no mechanism to just stop inflation dead in its tracks and reverse it. Like you have to slow it down first, and then once you finally get it reversed, then it's like a slow. That's what Biden's been doing since 2022, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I said, we're playing with fire here, and then on top of that. The last time Trump started doing stuff like with tariffs and all that that the market didn't like, do you remember how the market responded?
Um,
It was how they got Trump to initially give the 90-day pause on Liberation Day. You remember the one thing in particular started going down in a hurry.
well, the stock market, right?
Nah, not just the stock market,
Oh, crypto?
the dollar, the value of the dollar.
Oh,
Remember
yeah, yeah,
T
yeah.
bonds and all that started falling.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I sent you this, but the value of the dollar, as soon as he announced that he fired Lisa Cook, the dollar just nosedived. So that's where our dollar is sitting right at 10 minutes before we started recording tonight. That's where our dollar's at.
Yeah.
So It was varying a little bit, and then at the exact moment he fired her, it just went straight down.
That's
Now,
not good at all.
the dollar going down, I don't want to even pretend I know all the ramifications, but it also makes inflation worse because like our purchasing power versus other countries is less. So
Okay, what are futures looking like now?
I have not looked. I don't know what the stock market's doing. Let's take a
Well,
look
futures
here.
are not they're down, but not a ton. The stock market's a weird creature at this point. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. But I was just looking up Trump's main economic advisor, Peter Navarro,
It's
uh,
basically they have three different roles, but it's Navarro, Letnick, and Besant are the three that are pretty much running our economy right now.
and they're just bad at their jobs.
So apparently Besant is supposedly the adult in the room. He's the real stiff gay guy that lives in the pink
Yeah,
Barbie house.
yeah.
He apparently is like the only reason Wall Street has faith because they think Besant is going to keep crazy stuff from happening. Lutnick and Navarro scare the heck out of Wall Street. Like if
Hmm.
I saw somebody said this the other day, but if Besant quit for some reason, if he left the administration, like stocks would tank instantly because it'd be like, oh, it's Lutnick and Navarro and Trump running things. So
And what do they want?
Navarro wants he wants like 30% tariffs on everybody. He truly believes in tariffs. I don't want to claim I know what Lutnick wants. I don't know that Lutnick knows what he wants. Lutnick Lutnick's an interesting guy.
Oh my gosh, are we just like completely screwed?
Yeah, the pre-market right now is only down like 0.15%. So,
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And now, last time it was the treasury bills and the value of the dollar that went down, and that's what kind of caused everything. So, we'll see what tomorrow looks like, but he's slowly I I told you last episode that I you were right and I was wrong, and like he's kind of doing the authoritarian thing, and I kept saying, you're kind of jumping the gun, but like it's
100%.
it's been weird. He was clearly watching the Sunday morning shows this weekend. He was tweeting about it. What's weird is there's like Fox News Sunday, State of the Union on CNN, and then there's Meet the Press, and this week on blah blah blah. Like there's like 5 or 6 Sunday morning shows. It's hard to watch all of them. Trump finds time in his Sunday to watch every single one of them. I guess DVR is working for him, but he tweets about all of them. One of his tweets was, "Oh, like this was the first one I saw, and it's his attack on the press that continues." But why is it that ABC and NBC fake news, two of the absolute worst and most biased networks anywhere in the world, aren't paying millions of dollars a year in license fees? So he wants them to pay penalties for what they're saying about him. They should lose their licenses for their unfair coverage of Republicans and or conservatives, but at a minimum, they should pay up big for having the privilege of using the most valuable airwaves anywhere at any time. Crooked journalism should not be rewarded. It should be terminated. So clearly, ABC and NBC were saying stuff about him that he didn't care for.
And so, I mean, that's like just a whole nother step in
They
authoritarianism.
they they should pay up big. Who should they pay? Should they do like those other media companies and give him 15, $16 million? Like what exactly is he talking about here?
I, it really sounds like he's just trying to get him off the air. Like he doesn't want to be on the air.
He's trying to intimidate them into not saying bad things about him. That's what he's trying to do. And
Yeah.
that's frustrating. And then
That makes more sense.
Chris Christie is on ABC. And now, real quick reminder: Chris Christie was an attorney, or he was an attorney general, I think, for a state, and then he was the governor of New Jersey. Then he
Uh-huh.
was a big time Trump supporter. He was in Trump. He was one of Trump's advisors in the first administration.
Mhm.
He was help. This is the funniest thing. He was helping prepare Trump for the debate against Biden in
Right.
2020,
Yeah.
and Trump got COVID and brought it to the debate prep. Chris Christie got it and almost died in the hospital. Like he
Hmm.
was down, and he never attacked Trump. Apparently Trump never called to check on him when he was in the hospital. Like just kicked him to the curb. So Chris Christie has been speaking up against Trump. I don't even know exactly what he said on the ABC.
Wait, you kind of glossed that over. He's
Okay,
been really speaking up
he
out
he's
about Trump.
yeah he's
Yeah,
been
ever since that happened, he's just been like,
what
no, Trump is a piece
he
of shit.
tried.
Like we're not gonna.
He ran in the primary in 2024, and he was one of the first ones out. What's weird is I was never a Chris Christie guy, but like I remember watching that, and there was 2 or 3 of them that I liked, and he was one of them, and I was like, I would give Chris Christie a chance at this point, but because he
Yeah.
was attacking Trump, he was out of there in a hurry. But he's been speaking up against Trump for sure. Trump followed that first tweet. I'm gonna let you read this one. But he just went straight up attack on Chris Christie here.
I just watched sloppy Chris Christie be interviewed on a ratings challenge news show this week with George Slopapadopoulos on ABC Fake News. By the way, what the hell happened to Jonathan Carl's hair? Carl's? Is it? I thought it was
His
Jonathan
name's
Carl.
Jonathan Carl. He's
Is
like a teenage girl, and look at his hair. Like,
it?
sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
He looks absolutely terrible. It's amazing what bad ratings on a failed television show that was forced to pay me $16 million can do to one's appearance. Can anyone believe anything that sloppy Chris Christie says? Do you remember the way he lied about the dangerous and deadly closure of the George Washington Bridge in order to stay out of prison? At the time, at the same time, sacrificing people who worked for him, including a young mother who spent years trying to fight off the vicious charges against her. How is that just a giant run-on sentence? Yeah.
There's no
Chris,
there's no
Chris
punctuation
refused
here.
to take responsibility for these criminal acts. For the sake of justice, perhaps we should start looking at that very serious situation again. No one is above the law. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT.
So he's basically saying that he watched Chris Christie, and Chris Christie said bad things about him. So he wants to reopen the investigation into Bridgegate. Bridgegate happened in like 2014, maybe. And at the time, nobody was talking about Christie getting arrested. I think that like they were talking like it was a scandal for sure, but and I think that whole thing was like he basically slowed down construction of a bridge to hurt a Democratic mayor of a Democratic city in New Jersey or something like
Right,
that.
right, for
Something
sure.
like that.
For sure.
Hold on, what do you got here?
I this has been my favorite one. This is my favorite Gavin Newsom thing so far.
Oh God, is this a Gavin tweet? His has been so good. Oh man,
So
is that
good.
Melania?
I think so.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them with Gavin and either Ivanka or Gavin and Melania that are like towing right up to the line where it's like that's almost not cool, man. But yeah, that's
It's a little not cool, but
oh Gavin.
still
Yeah,
hilarious. I don't think he's doing it. I think
he's
somebody else
not.
did that one.
They've identified two of the people that are doing it for him, and I don't care. It's funny if he hired a team of people to do funny tweets. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so real quick, so that's what started my Sunday off was Trump attacking the free press, and basically what's weird is he did the raid on Bolton last week, and we didn't talk about that too much. He raided John Bolton, his former national security director, and he kind of got away with it. Like there was a little bit of an uproar, but like it wasn't a major deal. And I think
Yeah.
he saw that and he was like, oh shit, I can do this. And now he's basically saying, and he said it today again in the Oval Office. He said, Pam Bondi should take a look into that Bridgegate thing. So Chris Christie's going to get some legal trouble here soon because he's speaking bad about Trump on the Sunday morning ABC show. Like
That is authoritarian as it gets, man.
it's so hard to be like I want to be the rational one in our relationship and be like, well, docs, like calm down. It's not that bad yet, but like it's getting there. And
Dude,
then
I've been telling you the whole time.
I know, and I've been telling you that you were jumping the gun. I said we might get there eventually, but we're not there yet. And I think like this is where we're truly getting there.
Yeah.
So hey, but did you see that Bernie Sanders is thrilled today?
I saw, fill me in. I forget.
Bernie
Why is he
Sanders
so
and
happy?
Bernie Sanders is glowingly approving of Donald Trump. What one thing Donald Trump's done? Have you seen this at all?
No, what was it?
Okay, so I mentioned last week that Donald Trump is basically taking for the United States, giving the United States a 10% share in Intel. Okay, Intel. So real quick, Intel, their CEO, I can't remember the guy's name, but like I think it was Laura Loomer, started tweeting all kinds of stuff about how Intel CEO is like in bed with communist China, blah blah blah. I don't know what the deal was. So then Trump started basically demanding that Intel fire their CEO, which I have a problem with in a lot of ways, but
Yes.
he was doing it, and they ended up. I think they didn't fire their CEO, but he just got them to instead give him 10% of the company. Now, the CHIPS Act that Biden put through in like 2022 allotted it was like $10.6 billion to Intel to basically rescue Intel. We need Intel to be a company. They're the only company in America that makes the chips. There's all these other companies like Nvidia and stuff, but like they don't make the chips. And like if we go into war and so like we need to make chips in America, like we very much do. So Biden was Biden was almost doing a bailout for them, giving them almost $11 billion. Trump now basically said they need to fire their CEO, and then I guess they worked it out to where it's like, okay, well, you know what? Since I'm giving you that 10 or $11 billion, like you should give me 10% of the company, and they agreed. So now America owns 10% of the company.
which
Uh,
is which is socialism. I mean, that's
yeah, Bernie loves it. Bernie came out today and was like, "This is fantastic." And that's
that,
I, I've told you, I'm not a big fan of Bernie for like I would have voted for Bernie, but there's some things about Bernie that are a little too far socialist for me. The fact
okay.
that he's okay with this, I was a Republican my whole life, so I'm just not a fan of. Somebody on the right today called this state capitalism. They were like, "It's not socialism; it's state
Mm,
capitalism." And I don't
okay.
know. I don't know if that's actually a thing. He might have made that up, or maybe that is a real thing. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyhow, the other point that Republicans were making was, well, this was a unique circumstance. We have to make chips in America, blah, blah, blah. And also, for the record, what is it, TSMC or something like that is basically owned by Taiwan. Samsung is basically owned by the Korean government. I can't remember that one's name, but China basically owns the other. So there's like 4 or 5 big chip manufacturers, and all of them except for Intel are pretty much backed by a government. Intel's the only one that wasn't backed by a government. Okay. So I listened to several Republicans in the past 24 hours that have basically said, "Hey, I know this is kind of socialism, but like when you think about it, this is so important to our economy that like this is the one thing where maybe he should do it." So they were trying to give him, and they kept saying as long as it's just this. Well, today he got asked about this in the Oval Office. Sorry, did you have a point there?
No, but I want to know why Bernie Sanders likes it so much.
Because Bernie Sanders is a socialist. I don't know. Sorry, I'm mad about that.
Um, well, there's got to be reasons. Like I can understand that we need chip manufacturing and that like okay, we're gonna give Biden's gonna give him $11 billion to stay afloat, right? It's kind of a
Pull,
bailout.
you got your Twitter open?
Um,
Fine. Bernie tweeted everything he loved about it. I didn't read the whole thing.
okay, I'll read it later. Yeah. So I'm curious. I'd be ha yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look into this a little bit more. It seems weird.
So here's the deal though. Every Republican was like, "Well, just for the chips. It makes sense to do it, but don't do it for anything else." So he gets asked about it today in the Oval Office, and here is his answer.
During the campaign, you called Kamala Harris a communist, but the Biden-Harris administration, they never called for nationalizing a private company with the federal government like you're proposing with Intel. What do you say to some who say this is a bit hypocritical, and is this the new way of doing industrial policy?
Yeah, sure it is. I want to try and get as much as I can. If people come in and they need something, as an example, as a real estate person, if I have an agreement and I have any form of a stopgap where I can stop somebody from doing something, right? I have a covenant in an agreement, and they come to me and they say, would like to do something, but you have us restricted. If I do that, they usually have to pay. Now, in the case of Intel, it was interesting, but I hope I'm going to have many more cases like it. Intel came in. I met with the gentleman. I had a lot of respect for him. He came in under a little bit of a cloud. I liked his story. I thought he was good. I think he really means to do a good job with Intel. I said, I'd like to ask whether or not you'd give because the story, a lot of people said I invested in Intel. I didn't invest, but I invest my heart in it and my soul because I want the country to be strong. But I said, I'd like you to give 10% of Intel to the United States of America. Not to me, to the United States of America. And I said, if you have them as a partner, you have the United States as a partner, I think that would be a very good thing for Intel. And he thought about it, a little bit different, and he said, I like that idea very much. We have a deal. And I just made $10 billion or $11 billion for the United States of America.
Okay, let me explain the 3 problems I have with that. First of all, he said, I hope I'm going to have many more cases like it. And then he kind of gave the example of if I have leverage over a company that needs something from the government, then I'm going to make them give me stock to do the thing that they want to do. So he's going to do this as often as he can, apparently. He also said, he met with a gentleman running Intel, and he came in under kind of a cloud. Laura Loomer created that cloud. Like it was almost, I don't think they're smart enough to do this, but it's almost like they planned it out. Like she creates a stink about him. He comes in. Hey, you know what? I'll let you stay the CEO if you do this for me. The third thing he said, oh, they gave it to me for free. No, it was part of the Chips Act. He held hostage the 10 or 11 billion dollars from the Chips Act, and then said, okay, I'll let you have this, but you have to give me 10%. So we traded 10 or 11 billion
Um,
dollars for 10 or 11 billion dollars worth of stock. That's where we're at.
during a hostage negotiation.
Pretty much, yeah. It was a hostile takeover for the most part.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Uh,
if we're going into, because if he's saying he wants to do this with as many companies as he possibly can, anybody he can have the leverage to do it. Like, first of
right.
all, what problems would this create? Let's say Gavin Newsom wants to do a green energy product in California that is a state funded project. He wants to open up wind farms, solar farms, whatever. All of those things take chips. So the only place you can buy chips is either from overseas, which have a huge tariff on them right now, or from
Mm,
Intel, which our government kind of controls. They have a controlling stake in. So Trump can tell Intel, "Don't give Gavin the chips to do the green energy." Right? It's power. He controls the chips. At this point in our life, like the person that controls the chips controls a lot, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't even think about that. That's
it's interesting. So
dude.
yeah.
Okay.
So here's where we're at. This is called seizing the means of production, is what they generally call it in socialism or communism. Okay, which I'm not sure if I'm calling this socialism or communism, but we've seized the means of production for one industry, and he says he plans to do it for as many as he can.
Yeah.
Um, we have tariffs that are so big that companies are having to petition the king, offer him gifts and stuff in order to get exceptions from the tariffs. And at that point, he's picking winners and losers. He's saying, nah, I'm going to let this company not have to pay the tariff, but all the other mom and pop shops have to pay the tariff. So you got that going on. We have troops in the streets right now in DC only. They were in LA for a bit, but in DC only. But he's sure as heck acting like he's about to send him to Chicago next. I mean,
Chicago's
like,
next. Yep.
it
Then New
what
York.
based off everything I just said, like I can't not say that we like this is a authoritarian problem we have going on here. I don't know how else to say it. Like
Yeah, I mean, we went over it a little while ago, right?
you did, yeah. You gave me the rundown, and I think
Yeah.
any one of those three things by themselves, the tariffs or seizing the means of production or troops in the streets, if you just had one of them, you can kind of make an argument that well, he needs to do this, or but all three of them happen at the same time, and then also investigating your political opponents,
Oh,
John Bolton and Chris Christie.
well, they're the ones that always complain about they complain about Biden using the DOJ to arrest his political enemies. Do you see what he's doing now?
Well, and he claims he's doing this because of the lawfare that Biden did.
Biden did
So,
none of it.
oh, and sorry, on top of all those other things, tack on the attacks on the free press. That's another.
Oh
So,
yeah, attacks on the free
yeah.
press for sure. Like man, I'm looking for that because I had a list of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. So authoritarianism was forcibly coordinating the narratives of law firms, media companies, universities, and museums, which he's
Okay.
doing.
Check.
And check. Totalitarianism is bringing in military action, overriding local police with military, expanding detention facilities. Check.
Check. Yep.
And then fascism, I didn't even get that far because we're
Yeah.
I think fascism is when he controls the voting. That's part of it at least. Controlling the voting,
Which
which he's
he's
trying to
trying
do.
to rig the vote, right? And which
Yeah.
most dictators want to still have elections. They want, but it's always rigged. But they want to be able to say, like Putin, oh look, I got 93% of the vote, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
93.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm not. And next time you say that this is authoritarian or this is fascism, like I'm not going to argue it with you. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I have a leg to stand on to try to say that this is not. Docs, you're overreacting. You're not.
You
I don't think
kind
you
of
are
gave me that a
anymore.
little bit, and I was just like, I'm not overreacting. This is fucking crazy. There's a
I made it 7 months trying to calm you down and tell you that what was happening isn't really happening. And now I finally realized like it's really happening. Shit.
yeah, yeah. It's
Okay, well,
the United States is on fire, Andy. We've been on fire. We were smoldering. I was just the first one to see the flames.
good thing is you're not going to see any more flags in flames because we got a law about that now. So thank God.
I feel like
Um,
that's probably going to be part of our next video intro.
is you burning a flag?
Yeah.
See you later, buddy. I have to look for a new host for a year, I guess. Anywho,
Am I going to be able to record in jail?
no, I don't think so. Unless you're Ghislaine Maxwell. If you can convince people that the Epstein stuff is nothing to see here, then you can go to a cushy place and probably record in jail. So,
Copy.
yep. One more thing on Trump. Actually, I got a lot more on Trump, but one thing I want to get I want to get us on record real quick, okay?
Oh,
Did you see the close-ups today? Trump's been taking crap because he keeps having like a crap load of makeup on his right hand, and he's clearly trying to hide something. But I sent you this. I don't know if you saw it yet. But did you see today he didn't wear any makeup on that hand? And what's going on with his hand? I mean, is that just bruising? I don't know what's going on there. Is that bruising and dry skin?
what I saw was something from this weekend where he had, or oh wait, I saw a photo where he didn't have any on his, because remember they were saying that it was from handshakes. It's from him shaking hands all the time. That was one of
Yeah,
the,
he's bruising because
he's
people are.
bruising. But
I
then I
don't.
saw a picture of his left hand with the same exact thing on it. I mean, they're saying it could be diabetes. It could be he's getting blood drawn from his hands.
Well, and I've heard
Uh,
that the blood draw, like he's getting blood drawn every day, and whoever's doing it is having trouble finding the vein. I mean, that's that's weird. I kind of want to get us on record real quick, okay? People on the left are making
who
all
said he was
these.
getting blood drawn every day? Real quick, sorry.
I've heard that on some different podcasts. I don't know. Apparently, because of his, what is it, a venous insufficiency syndrome or something along those lines.
Cardio something, yeah.
Yeah, blood flow. So somebody said that it looks like, I think it was a doctor actually was saying that it looks like he's getting blood drawn every day. And if that's the case, then he's like stage 4 of whatever thing he's got with blood flow issues.
He's been
Uh,
looking pretty weak lately. I mean, today he looked fine, but there's been a lot of interviews and a lot of just him
that
talking, looking very low energy,
the
especially
video
like with Putin.
Well, and the video we played last week, the day with Putin for sure, when he gave the press conference, he looked tired. And even Republicans were saying he looks tired. And then the one we played last week where he was talking about Epstein, we both commented afterward where he just didn't look good. Like he was wearing a suit but without a tie and a ball cap and just kind of didn't seem awake.
Yeah.
He seemed more energetic today. But so the people are speculating like, what's wrong with Trump? If he just has the chronic venous insufficiency syndrome or whatever the heck it is, like that's not a death sentence. Like he can, especially he's got the best healthcare and best doctors in the world. Like they
Oh
can
yeah.
stretch him out. My contention, the thing I'm curious about is that all he has? Like they told us he has that. Did they tell us everything he has, or is there a chance he's got some other stuff they're not telling us about? They kind of had to tell us about the blood flow thing because his ankles were so obviously swollen.
Well, let's think about it. He's what, 78,
Yep.
79?
He's 79 and he's recently started talking about getting into heaven on like Fox.
Yeah, yeah. He's overweight, like
He's
pretty
he's
large
actually
guy.
he's actually thinner now than he was 4 years ago. Like he's not as fat as he was.
Okay.
So, and then
He
re-
eats nothing but like McDonald's and KFC.
eh,
He's never worked out a day in his life.
he brags about that.
And you
Yeah.
don't golf is not working out. So if anybody that's not working out, especially when
Another
you're in a
point.
cart. If you're walking, that's a different story. But if you're in a cart, you're not working out.
Well, and remember we talked about this last time, but Alex Jones on his show spent like 30 minutes talking about how he thinks Trump is going to die in the next 12 months, and he was like sad, like about to cry about it. And like Alex Jones is connected to Trump's circle, so
And then I heard somebody talk about how they're kind of bringing JD in more on like a little bit of everything. You kind
yeah.
of see his face a little bit more with Trump, and like it looks like they're kind of prepping him to take a spot, which is probably better than Trump. I hope it's better than Trump, but
I
he's
think
still
that
a nightmare.
JD won't be as big as an embarrassment on the world stage as Trump,
Yeah.
but he'll also be like way more effective and efficient at getting things done because there'll be no distractions.
But
Trump
I'm
shoots.
hoping he doesn't want to get all these things done that Trump wants to get done.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Like there's a chance that JD could come into power and be like, hey, he could basically really smoothly say, hey, I was Trump's VP, so whatever he said, I was going along with, but now that I'm the president, I'm going to do a couple things differently. He could totally do that.
Yeah, we're not going to do tariffs anymore. Like, okay.
The thing about JD also is like Trump has the whole Teflon Don thing where like he could do anything and his base will love him for like they'll never turn on him. I think that there are some people I know some Republicans that like JD more than Trump, like him a lot more than Trump. But
Hmm.
also I think a big part of the base won't give JD the kind of slack they give Trump on stuff. Like I think if he does one or two things that's against what they want to do, that they're not gonna just go with it. I
He's
think.
gonna, yeah, if he is going to turn anything around, he's going to have to slowly, methodically do it, right?
Yeah, it can't be a quick change because then it's like he's
Yeah.
spitting on the memory of Donald Trump. Like he's
Yeah,
got to.
exactly. Yeah, it's gonna make him mad.
Now,
But
I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think if JD comes in and finishes out this term, like let's say he comes in next year and he does the last 2 years of Trump's term, he still gets to run twice after that. So like we could be looking at like up to 10, 11 years of JD if that happened.
oh, you're scaring me.
I know. Now, here I want to get us
It's
I want to get us on
terrifying.
record. I'm gonna pull this clip and stash it away, but I want to hear your prediction. Is he gonna make it through his term? Or is he going to not make it through his term? And if so, at what point do you think is the end?
I hope he makes it through 2026.
Okay, not a I hope though. What is your official prediction?
My official prediction is Trump is going to live to be 122 years old,
Yep.
and he's, they're going to just take his head off and put it on a new robot body, and he's going to be fine.
I'm
And
on so
he's going to be president until he dies. Or he's never going to die, and he's just going to be president forever.
I'm with you 100%. I was I kept seeing stuff online where I was like, holy shit, like, is he really sick? Like, is there a chance he's not? But like, no, he's gonna live to like 100. Like, he'll be calling the shots. Even when he's not president, he'll be tweeting what he wants the president to do, and they'll be going, yes, sir, if it's a Republican. Like, I think he's gonna be running shit. I
I
don't,
think he's going to lose. I think he's on his way to losing his marbles. Um,
but even if he loses marbles, I think they'll still let him control everything.
no, I think at some point they take his phone away.
Oh, you have more faith in Republicans than I do at the moment.
Well, who's in charge? His family or the Republicans? If he
So
starts
the
going
problem
crazy.
is, I didn't think about this till just now, but the problem is somebody like Stephen Miller, like how I said like the last year of Biden, my theory is that the last year of Biden, the aides right underneath him, the chief of staff or whatever, like they were the
Hmm.
most powerful people in the world because they were just steering Biden in the direction they wanted him to go. And like they didn't want to tell people that he's lost his mind or that he should drop out and not run because they were controlling the presidency basically.
Oh,
I think that when Trump starts to lose his marbles, Stephen Miller is my prime sub, but there's going to be somebody like that that's going to just kind of keep directing him and using him for their own what they want to do. It'll be Stephen Miller.
yeah. Stephen Miller's going to trick Trump into giving him power of attorney.
Oh,
He's going to have control over the Trumpness.
that's so scary. So your prediction is that Trump makes it to the end of his term, is official where you're at, right?
Oh, man, that's hard to tell. Yeah, he seems sick. He seems sick. That's the
I
thing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, mine is that he makes it through the end and
Yeah,
possibly tries to run again, but he makes it till 2028.
I really hope not.
Yeah, and I got so excited. I'm gonna back up and not say that. I didn't get excited. Sidetrack. In football, like there's certain players that I hate. I hate Tom Brady. I hated him so bad. And like he got injured one time. It was actually like gruesome. A player dove through his knee while his leg was locked out and like blew his knee back out. He missed the rest of the year. And like I always was like, kill him. I want him, hurt him. And then when it happened, I remember I was like, oh, that's not good. Like it was rough. Like I didn't really want him to get hurt. Okay.
Right, right.
That being said, there's a part of me that's like, man, I can't wait till Trump's gone. But like, if I woke up tomorrow and like if I turn on the news tomorrow and Trump died in his sleep, like that's not good. Like, I definitely wouldn't start celebrating. Like, that's gonna be a strain on the country. Like, we're not predicting at all. Like, you're not thinking. Do you realize if Trump dies in his sleep tonight, tomorrow a third of the country is going to be devastated. I mean, devastated, and then a certain part of the left, I'm pointing to you, is going to be like, ha ha ha, Trump died. And
I'm not
dude,
like that's not who I am. I'm not like that.
would you agree that there are some people that are going to do that?
Um,
Yes. Don't
there will be
ain't
people who are happy about it, but I don't think those people are the ones that are gonna say ha ha ha. Like,
I think there's going to be some unnecessary
no, you know
celebration.
what? No, 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 no.
Okay?
The left has way more. I think if it was the turned around, yes, it would be that way. But the left has way more empathy than the right. They're not going to
I
celebrate somebody's death. That's not how who the left is. They need to be more like that.
okay.
This is what we're trying to fight for. Like Gavin Newsom fighting Trump. Like we need more of that, but not the. But you still gotta have empathy, right? You
So
still have empathy for Trump and his family and all those 33 million idiots that support him. Like you can't just put it in somebody's face that somebody died.
okay.
That's sick.
So
I
like I
mean,
said,
don't get me wrong. There'll be a few, but not. It's not like you're
not big.
not big.
Trolls of the left might do it.
Trolls of the
Okay.
left. Yes.
So that's our first thing that I'm saving for later to see who's right on this. But I think there's going to be a bigger group than you do that are flaunting, like kind of being dicks about it. Like I do. I think, and I think that there's people that are going to be really, really, really sad, and then they're going to look over and see other people laughing and having a good time because ding dong, the witch is gone type thing.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's when shit's going to be really like if it happens, if Trump dies while in office. I think that the next couple weeks will be some of the worst times in American history. I do. I think, and we'll get over it, but I think it's going to be a rough period, a really rough period. And I hope that the left is kind, like you're saying they're going to be. I think that there's going to be a bigger group than you're thinking being shitty about it. That's just my
Okay.
prediction. So,
We
anyhow,
hope we probably won't
now
find out.
I agree
Is
with
Jimmy Carter
you.
still alive?
Jimmy Carter died right after he voted for Kamala and then died a couple days later.
Man,
Yeah,
I thought I heard that, but
he
I feel like
did.
the news cycle is just so crazy. Like we didn't even nobody mourned Jimmy Carter. Did anybody even remember who he was?
No, because what happened there? There was something that happened where the flags were going to be at half mast for Trump's inauguration because, like, it was, and Trump had them raise them to full staff. That was like one of the first controversies.
Oh
Like
my
the
gosh. What
nation
a
was in
dick.
mourning. That was way back in January. That feels
I
like
don't
so
remember
long
that
ago.
at all.
Yeah, that happened. That was a
Do you
thing.
remember the picture of Biden and Jill next to Jimmy and his wife?
How long ago was that?
It was during Biden's administration. We'll have to insert it here.
They probably
But
all three out of four of them looked like they were dying. I'm guessing. Jill was the only one that looked alive.
Oh, I mean, oh, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna share
Was
this.
Jimmy Carter like in a hospital bed at the time? Because he's been in a hospital bed for a
No,
while.
no, 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 not in a hospital bed.
Okay.
I don't know if we can get a full screen of this because this is pretty dang amazing. Oh, they're gonna make me this. Okay, hold on. Share screen. Boom, boom, boom. Screen
I can't see
two.
it.
Oh, it's not working. Oh, here it is.
There, it's coming. Hold on. All right, I got it.
You see it?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how he looked towards the end.
But look how tiny they are compared to the Bidens. Look how tiny she
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah. Well, dang paywalls.
I know.
Um, yeah, because I mean when he went and voted in person for Kamala, and when I heard that they said that he went down and voted in person, and in my mind I was like I didn't think he could walk anymore, and then I saw like they wheeled him in a hospital bed like into a polling place to vote. Like
Amazing.
he didn't seem with it at all, and then he died like I said like not long after. Anywho,
How do you know he voted for Kamala?
he said apparently he was saying towards the end that he just wanted to live long enough to cast his vote for. It's sad because he was saying to cast my vote for the first female president of the United States, blah blah, and then she lost. Um,
Mm,
anyhow, a couple more. Okay, so hold on, wait, let me finish that out real quick. We both agree Trump lives to the end of the term, right? Official prediction. Not what you hope. What you think? If you had to put money on it, Trump's living to the end of the term.
No.
Okay, I'm saying yes. What's your prediction then? For you
I'm
said
gonna
20
I'm
before or
gonna
after the midterms?
I'm gonna say okay, he's gonna live to the end of term for sure, but he's not gonna be in good enough shape to run again. He's gonna
Okay,
try. He's gonna try, but he's not gonna be in good enough shape to run again.
but he's alive when when he hands off power to the
Yeah.
next. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, okay.
I think he's gonna have dementia, and I think he's gonna get kind of shooed to the side.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pull
Dementia,
this,
or he's gonna be in a hospital bed and trying to run again.
but they won't. So normally, if a president has dementia and is on a hospital bed, his cabinet would get together and do the 25th Amendment and basically take power from him and give it to the vice president. You don't think that's going to happen, no matter how bad it gets.
No, no,
Okay,
I think
I
they're crazy
agree.
enough just to leave a. I think they're gonna weekend at Bernie's him.
He could be totally brain dead, and they'd be like, "No, no, no, he's still the president. He's good."
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyhow, okay. There are a couple other notable moments from his press conference this morning. Like I said, the thing went for an hour. This one is not necessarily what he's going to do; it's what he says in this. This is a short clip, and we'll talk about it here in a second. But check this out real quick from Fox.
And on the Department of War, how do you plan to do that? It requires an act of Congress to rename the Defense Department to the Department of War.
We're just going to do it. I'm sure Congress will go along if we need that. I don't think we even need that, but if we need that, I'm sure Congress will go along. You know, that was the name when we won World War One, we won World War Two, we won everything, and just to me seems like just a much more appropriate. The other is defense is too defensive, and we want to be defensive, but we want to be offensive too if we have to be. So it just sounded to me better, really like a better name. Yeah. Mr. President, following
We
So,
want to be offensive too.
okay. At the beginning of the clip, the reporter rightly points out because he announced that he's going to change the name from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Back in the day, it was the Department of War. The Department of War started in it was 1914 or so when World War One started, I think. And after World War Two, they realized that Department of War sounds like we're just out there trying to start. So they
Mhm.
changed it for almost a PR. But no, 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 it's the Department of Defense. We're not trying to fight anybody. We're just
Right.
that was the reason. Now, he wants to go back to Department of War. He said today that he's going to sign an executive order to change it back. The reporter rightly points out that, hey, that takes an act of Congress. You can't just do that. And he says, oh no, he said we're just gonna do it, and I'm sure Congress won't have a problem with it. And it's like, yeah, that's what bothered me most out of the whole thing is he's right. Congress won't have a problem with it. Don't they don't want their power. They're giving it all to Trump. And if he does that tomorrow, it would take a majority in the House or the Senate to actually raise a stink about that, and none of them are going to say shit. They're just going to go, it's the Department of War now. Deal with
Do
it.
you think things will ever get back to normal where there's like three branches of government?
No, I used to think so, but I'm.
You think even if a Democrat gets into office the next term, um, he's going to relinquish that power that Trump's kind of taken?
I'm hearing too many things recently about if he does lose the midterms, he could just tell Mike Johnson not to seat the new members and just like the whole like the states have to certify blah. Apparently when it comes to Congress, like Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House could just choose not to give the new people the oath. Like and that would be a constitutional crisis, but like what do you do about that? Especially what do you do about that if the
I leave the country is what I do about
because
that.
at that point we could be in a situation where like the National Guard is in every big blue city. Like, oh yeah, go protest that. Go see how
Yeah,
that goes for you.
I'm not living here anymore.
Yeah.
So in that same uh area, that same press conference or whatever, he said he stopped 7 wars. Do you know what 7 wars he stopped?
I looked one time and he hasn't now he's basically being a little
Well, he's saying that India and Pakistan is the big one.
yeah, Rwanda and somebody. Now there's
Okay.
like there's two that like actually like stopped. Like peace treaties have been signed. How much he had to do with it is very up in the air. But there's two where like, oh shit, like that war is over. The other five are like kind of like Israel and Iran is one of them, where it's like, yeah, the fighting has stopped right now, but do you think that's over? That ain't over.
No,
I
no,
think
and we bombed Iran.
we did. But like anybody who thinks that, like, he's called like the 12-day war, and the 12-day wars, no,
Oh
both
yeah.
sides are rearming. Like that's going to be going on for another 30 years. That's not over.
Mhm.
So there's somewhere like fighting has stopped for now, but it ain't no peace deal has been signed that he's claiming he ended. That is one of the seven is Israel and Iran. He claims he ended that war.
And what is he? He's starting a new kind of a battle with the new Korean prime minister,
You
president.
know, I saw that he had the prime minister of South Korea or the president of South Korea in the Oval Office today. And like it was at one point he was talking about comfort girls and the way I should have
Comfort
stopped.
girls?
Yeah, comfort girls like were yeah, I don't know the right way to say it and not get us hurt in the algorithm, but like yeah, comfort girls, girls that are there
Oh,
to give you the things you
oh,
need. Um,
oh.
And I don't know if he was saying that Japan does it or South Korea does it. He mentioned Japan a couple times, but like the South Korean president, there was a translator like telling him everything Trump was saying, and you could tell he was almost like what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like shit, like it was interesting. Like he kept talking about the comfort girls.
Okay, so this is another tie to the the ring of Jeffrey Epstein that he's been involved in, that he's been allocated in several millions of times.
So I wouldn't say that in this case because it was the way that it felt. And like I said, I'm not at all sure what he was saying, but it almost felt like he was throwing that out there like as a leverage point over South Korea. Like, and you guys do the comfort girls, and he almost like kind of like I'm just letting you know that I know you're doing this, and but like anyhow, it felt almost more like a threat that he was talking about it than anything else. That was the vibe I
Hmm.
got. Like I said, I could be 100% wrong on that. As he was saying it, I was like, what the. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, this
Comfort
also
girls
could be tied to the Robert
could
Kraft
be.
massages too.
He said the word comfort girls like 5 times in a minute, and I was just like, "What is he talking about?" Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
I
yeah,
try to
he's
stay
going, dude,
pretty.
he's losing it. This is what I'm saying is he is
Yeah,
losing it.
he is. Your favorite person was on Fox tonight.
Um, before you say that,
Okay,
I haven't really watched Fox lately, but I also haven't seen a lot of Republicans doing interviews lately.
they're doing a lot of them are doing it on Fox. They're
They
all
are
over
okay.
Fox. Yeah,
Okay. I was wondering. I was going to ask you that. Okay.
there's a couple of them that have gone on like the more like mainstream news channels, and like it's turned into a fight every time. Like Lindsey Graham's gone on some of the Sunday morning shows in the past couple of weeks.
He's getting on fights with Fox News.
No, he's getting in fights with is it NBC or ABC. I can't remember who it was. CBS maybe. But he was he was really mad at one of them. And then there's like Tim Burchett. I don't know what he's a congressman from Tennessee or somewhere like that, and he goes on CNN all the time, and he's just there to fight with them, and it's kind of like it was funny for a while, but now it's just like there's no value here. Like he's not going to answer any question. Anything they ask him, he's going to turn it around and be like CNN lies, blah 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 blah, and like
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where I'm like, oh, why are we having him on at this point?
Did Lindsey Graham come out of the closet? I thought I saw something about that.
No, but Laura Loomer in her deposition,
That's right.
they brought up that she had said Lindsey Graham was gay, and she said that like she has heard from several people in Trump's orbit that he is in fact gay, so she's not lying there. And I don't know. What's that? I don't mean it as a slam. I think it seems like very plausible that he could be gay. It's no, I don't have a problem now. Republicans would have a problem with it if he is, but like
Yeah, that's the issue, right? Is the
he's like a
Republicans have a problem.
he's like a 60 something year old bachelor that's never been married, has no kids. I don't know that. I think at one point he was supposedly dating Laura Ingraham. For some reason in my mind, I think that at one point there were rumors that Lindsey Graham and Laura Ingraham were dating. I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember hearing that
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
But
I mean, who cares? That's the problem is like he's just hiding who he is at this point, and nobody really cares besides the Republicans.
yeah, I don't.
And and this is the thing is the Republicans, there's so many like preachers out there like that just keep getting caught. Like it's like they're preaching the anti-gay thing, and then they get caught with like a male hooker.
Yeah,
And
it
it happens over and over and over and over again.
it don't make no sense. I don't.
It's
It
like
did. I can't remember any of the specifics, but it just happened here in Oklahoma within like the last week, where it was like a preacher from a small town, and he was diddling young boys or something like that. And I remember I saw it, and I only read the headline, and it like made me sad inside, and I didn't want to read the story. I was like, I'm just moving on. Like, that's not worth reading. Anyhow, but can I get you riled up for a minute?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Go.
Stephen Miller was on Fox tonight. I want you to pay attention here, and I'm gonna tell you about this first because I want you to hear the key words and phrases. But the Patriot Act. You're familiar with the Patriot Act, right?
That is where the United States government can watch our phones, basically.
It was a lot of things. It was after 2001, and maybe I think it was right before we went into Iraq. But at the time, we were like, we're getting attacked by terrorists, so they passed a law and gave the president way too much power. Like, and I think at the time it was meant to be like just for a short period of time, but it keeps getting reauthorized. So like it created the surveillance state. But also, there was the authorization of military force component of it, which basically says the president, anytime the president's going to take us to war, he has to go to Congress first and ask for basically permission to go to war. And what that Patriot Act part said was that the president can act immediately if it's against terrorists. If it's against a country, he has to go to Congress first. But if it's against terrorists, you have to be able to act quick. You don't have time to go to Congress. You gotta respond.
And then once it goes to the Congress, is it a 60-40 vote? Is that one of those?
I don't know. I think in the Senate it would need to be 60 votes, I think, but I don't know that for sure. But anyhow, so one of the things that Trump has been doing is he's expanding the definition of who a terrorist is. Like the cartels in Mexico are now classified as terrorists, so he can strike them without having to go to Congress. Stephen Miller, and people were making this argument that he's going to try to say that like it's domestic terrorism. The people in Chicago or New York or Baltimore are terrorists, and if he can find a way to legally classify them as terrorists, then he can send the National Guard in or the military or whatever because he's fighting terrorism. And like, I don't know that holds up. I've heard that for like the last 2 or 3 weeks, people saying that, and I've really pushed it off. So I'm like, nobody's buying that. Stephen Miller tries to make the case on Fox. I want you to pay attention to this, but here's two things that he says in here. Where did I put it? The organized street gangs all do business at some level or another with terrorist organizations. And then he also says street crews are engaged in material support of terrorism. Now, it sounds like he's just rattling off there, but like when I heard this, my ears perked up because I'm like, I've been hearing for like 2 weeks rumors of this, but they're trying to start making the case that this is terrorists in Chicago that we need to. And if it is terrorists, then the president doesn't need to ask anybody. He can just send in the troops. So check this out real quick and tell me if I'm being paranoid or if you hear what I hear.
All of these organized street gangs that are terrorizing these cities, that are dealing these drugs, that are trafficking weapons, that are engaging in organized theft, armed robbery, carjacking, all of them are doing business with, at some level or another, the transnational narco-trafficking organizations. So these street crews are engaged in material support for terrorism, which is the core function of the federal government to defend and protect. Well, President Trump has literally set the people of Washington, D.C. free. They're so happy now that they can just go out and live their lives, go to their favorite restaurant, go to their favorite bar, go to their favorite pool hall, go to their favorite park. You see moms taking kids out to parks they haven't been to in years because they know the police are there. They know that President Trump is there with his law enforcement to protect them. It's a thing of beauty, Sean. But I would say to the mayor of all these Democrat cities, like Chicago, what you are doing to your own citizens is evil. Subjecting your own citizens to this constant bloodbath and then rejoicing in it is evil. And you should praise God every single day that President Trump is in the White House.
If he's going to encourage people to take to the streets over this, I will say anything that happens, he will be responsible for. I did not like his comments.
So at the end there, who he's talking about is Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Trump said that he's going into Chicago, basically. he said he wishes that they would ask. It'd be nice if they would ask. He doesn't want to go in if they're not going to appreciate it, but he's going to go in. And then Pritzker came out afterward and basically said Chicago doesn't need your help. Chicago doesn't want you here. Like Pritzker is trying to be a Gavin right now. Like he's seeing how much it's working for Gavin, so he's trying to match that energy, and it's not him. It's not authentic. Like he's trying to anyhow.
He's not
Right there though. Stephen Miller, they're supporting terrorism. They're materially supporting terrorism. And the part at the end where he said the people of DC are free and they're happy and this and that, like 70% of people in DC are like vastly disapprove of this. And apparently, like restaurants and all the business in DC are seeing a huge like 30% drop in reservations. Like nobody wants to go there right now because there's troops. And I don't know if you saw it, the first couple of days they were there, the troops were not carrying weapons. Today they had their guns. So I think that started yesterday. So they all have a 9mm on their hip, and some of them have rifles. So
yeah, nobody wants to live in a police state. Nobody wants to go out in a police state. Like, yeah,
and I think I hate to say it, but if he does the whole this is fighting terrorism thing, I think it would withstand lawsuits to even go to the Supreme Court. Like if he can legally say that this is terrorism, then according to the Patriot Act, he has the right to send the troops in.
Well, here's the thing. There's a problem, right? Like I was just listening to somebody talk about this. There's a problem like in New York City. You go to a Walgreens in New York City, everything's locked up. You got to ask for get it out for you, right? Because there's so much theft. So there is a problem, but it's almost like I wish I had a better analogy. Anyway, this is not the solution. Like you're trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
You know what a great solution would be? Increase the police budget. It's the exact opposite of defund the police, but like we need more cops on the street and we need better trained cops. Like it's quality and quantity. Like
I don't agree with you on the more cops.
I do 100%. Like in places like New York, yes.
I think that I think I had this conversation not too long ago with somebody, and I think the whole problem is like community.
Oh, there's a huge
and police officers are the pillar of the community. They're like the totem pole of our community. They've always been like when we were growing up. They're like the shining light of the community. But do you really respect police officers anymore?
I do, but
do you respect ICE officers?
No.
And they're kind of one and the same at this point.
When I see a cop in my city or any city around me, like when I see a cop, I'm like, "How you doing, sir?" Like I genuinely like thank you for being on the streets to protect people. Like I know that.
But we know police officers that shouldn't be police officers, right?
Oh yeah, 1 out of 100 cops has no business being a cop. Probably more than one.
I would say it's 50-50.
I wouldn't say 50-50. I'd say maybe 1 out of 10. I don't know, but like there's definitely some cops that shouldn't be cops. Now when it comes,
how many cops do you think are MAGA?
Oh, a lot. 70%.
Okay. Yeah. Would you trust I'm not going to go there.
I don't have you forget that I'm around MAGA all day long, and a lot of them are very good people. Like I've told you this many times. I talk to them, and we get along on everything. And I've told you this, but what's crazy is like if we talk about issues, we generally agree on almost every issue. But then as soon as you throw it into like Democrat versus Republican, like all of a sudden, oh, there's no common ground here. But if we're just talking about stuff that's going on, it's crazy how much we agree on everything. Like it's a great job by our politicians keeping us divided over like trans issues when in reality we agree on 90% of the stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that our politics does that.
Intentionally.
Yeah. Do you think that happens in like the Nordic countries?
I don't think so. I'd like to think not, but I don't know for sure, but I'd like to think not.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing, and I sent you this on Twitter earlier. I thought about pulling it for the show, but it is people dying, so I don't know how YouTube would react to that. But do you know what the Israeli double tap is? And it's called the double tap. Al Qaeda and blah blah blah. ISIS. Sorry, I'm blanking here. They kind of started it. But are you familiar with the double tap operation when it comes to bombing things?
No, but I did see that video, so it makes sense.
Okay, so the double tap is where you hit him the first time. He hit, in this case, they hit a hospital. Nassar Hospital is pretty much the only hospital still operating in Gaza. And they hit it. I think there were 5 journalists in there. One of them was a Reuters journalist, so like a big publication. And they hit it, and then what they do is they wait 15 minutes. In this case, they waited 17 minutes, but the standard way they do it is they hit a place once and then they wait 15 minutes. And during that time, crews rush in, like paramedics and stuff, to try to save whoever, pull people out of the rubble. And while they're trying to pull people out of the rubble, you hit them the second time. Um, it was rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a double
It's called,
war crime, another double war crime by Israel.
yeah. No, let's not play it. It's, like I said,
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to shout out to Richard Sanders at PAULARJS. Yeah, if you want to watch it. It's really messed up.
yeah. Also, I don't know if you're following Ryan Grimm from Breaking Points, but his Twitter is a nonstop what's going on in Gaza. Like he's like, because he runs Drop Site News in addition to being on Breaking Points, and Drop
Okay.
Site News has journalists inside of Gaza, so he's constantly reposting stuff out of there. So great follow if you're someone who cares about what's going on in Gaza. Ryan Grimm on Twitter, hands down the best for what's going on in
Well,
Gaza.
since we just started our Twitter account, I wasn't following Ryan Grimm, but now I am.
Yeah, like I
And
said,
on that note, you better everybody like and subscribe.
yeah,
Uh,
we need them followers. If I
Send
come
us
across
message.
you, if I come across you in public, I will take your phone and make you subscribe to us. I did that. I did that to somebody this weekend. I was like, "Give me your damn phone." Anyhow, so the Israeli double tap, they killed 5 journalists. I don't know if all 5 were on the first strike or if it was a combination, but it was the only hospital still operating in Gaza, Nassar Hospital. They hit it with a rocket. Now they had to come out and apologize because they've been accused of doing this for the last 2 years, and they keep saying that they're not doing it. And this just happened to get caught on live TV. That was being broadcast live on several news channels and they like you saw that. If you see the video online, it's a close up from on the ground looking up into this hospital, and you see rescue workers trying to go through the rubble, and all of a sudden,
Mhm.
just boom, second bomb hits, and all those people are dead now. Pretty sad.
So
100% intentional. There's no way to try to say that was an accident. Like then the IDF is saying I think they're saying it was an accident, but they're looking into it and they're gonna hold people responsible for whoever did it. But they've been doing it for 2 years. They just got caught. They got caught on live TV this time.
there's
Um,
journalists there right now?
So they're not allowed to be there without an Israeli handler. They can't go into Gaza, but several of them have basically snuck into Gaza. So Drop Site News has a cup. One of Drop Site News is a guy who got killed in that tent blast like a week or 2 ago or 3 weeks
Hmm.
ago. But they've got a couple of people in there, but it's all journalists from a country in the Middle East, so they're Muslim, and they get into there and they're working for English or American publications.
Good
So
golly.
yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad.
What is I hate to be all anti-Israel. I don't have a problem with
Do
Jewish
you?
people. What Israel's doing right now in so many ways is war crimes, and we're all. It's like we've kind of hit a point where it's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it, and it's just like, well, it's happening. But what do
I
you want me
mean,
to do about it?
well, the best thing you can do about it is keep talking about it, and I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I don't know. Everybody knows about it already. Everybody knows.
Tw-
It's just gonna happen.
12 journalists in the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks total. 7 of them were in a tent that was identified as a media tent. Like they were,
Yeah.
they were clearly the international media, and their
Mm.
tent got bombed.
Yeah.
And then we had a hospital today get bombed. I don't know what you could say the justification for it is. It's very
There's not.
frustrating. So
There's no justification for it. It's
yeah,
just Israel committing a genocide, another Holocaust.
not a Holocaust. Remember, we looked up the definition. This is not a Holocaust. This is a genocide.
Close to ish,
Yeah.
Holocaust-ish, genocide. Whatever, man. Whatever. Um, have you seen? So I kind of waited to look this up with you. Um, I was waiting to get on here with you to kind of dig into this a little bit more, but I keep seeing about like wildfires in Spain and all over Europe.
Okay.
Um, so I just kind of opened up the map, and there are wildfires everywhere.
So LA has been on the news. There's fires all around in California that are a problem. Our buddy Clint that lives in Durango has been sending me pictures damn near every other day of like, oh, here's the view out the south side, and it's just heavy smoke. Like he's got fires, I think, all to the south and west of him. Um, yeah, so
This is the Durango area.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a
He's
lot of fires there. But I mean, look at okay, this is the United States, right?
yep.
Boom. These are the big ones.
Now go over to Europe. What's going on in Spain?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna cruise around here. Let's look at Canada's actually surprisingly not too bad right now, and they're usually pretty bad. Alaska's not too bad right now. Where I live, we're been getting rain, which is good. So
Nice.
look at, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
The world is just constantly on fire. That's one thing we just choose to never look at.
And then okay, so then this is one that was is interesting. Is like if we oh, there it is. Popped up.
Jesus.
Dude, Africa. Holy shit. There's just tons of little bitty fires everywhere. Whatever this island is just completely covered. It's all on
Is
fire.
that Madagascar?
It is.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
look at that shit. Holy mackerel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So here's Spain. Um, Portugal and Spain. It actually doesn't look too bad, but for some reason it kept popping up on my feed was Spain catching on fire. But then I go across to Italy. I guess it looked worse earlier. When you pull out, it looks bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, this is insane.
Oh, yep. The world.
This is our world. Let it render. Our
Do you ever
world is on fire.
do you ever use those flight tracker apps where you can like track commercial flights?
Uh-huh.
When you
Yeah.
zoom like way out, it looks like like the Earth is just full of planes. It's like, ah, how many planes are in the air at once? I'm getting that same kind of vibe right now, looking at all these fires.
Look at
Yes,
that.
South
That's
America and South Africa yeah, they're hurting.
uh,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Anyway. Oh
yay.
man.
I
Also,
got,
did
I
you
got,
I actually am proud of the HHS.
what they
I got
do?
a little so the HHS is so we HS confirms first travel related human case of a new world screwworm.
I saw that a screwworm. Apparently, those can get into cattle and like really wreck shit in cattle, and they
Hmm.
got a human case of it, right?
Yeah, there's a human case of it, and they found one at the border too. And they're on the job. I think they use flies, and they take flies, and they put something in the flies, um, to get rid of the worms. I'm not exactly sure. I
Yep,
just
you
heard
got
flies. I heard they're using flies somehow. So,
good.
but they're apparently on it. We'll see. I guess this is RFK's first test in his job.
The measles was technically his first test, but
Oh, he failed that completely.
yeah,
We don't
like,
even know
okay.
how many people have measles in the
Well,
United States.
I saw somebody in like Utah has the plague. I didn't know the plague was still a thing, but we have one confirmed case of the plague in Utah.
How do you get the plague?
I
From
don't know.
rats. You get it from
I
rats.
guess. Um, Anyhow, yeah. So that's every time I see one of those, like even before RFK and Maha and all that, like when I would see that, like, oh shit, like somebody in America has Ebola, like 'cause that happened a couple different times over the past 20 years, like that freaks me out. Now with RFK in, I'm even more upset. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Man.
bubonic plague.
The bubonic plague. Yeah, it comes from mice.
So it was a
What was
case in California, actually. Sorry.
okay?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
It's probably somebody that has like pet rats or something.
I don't know. California resident tests positive for plague. What to know about the disease? I'm not going to read all this, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
people can contract the plague after being bitten by infected fleas or touching infected animals like rats, mice, squirrels, chipmunks, prairie dogs, rabbits, mountain lions, ferrets, and even dogs and cats. Symptoms of the
Yeah.
plague. Widespread
Hey,
death throughout the world. Okay, sorry. I'm not going to read all that now. Okay.
let's say you're president
Okay.
and you found somebody that was not a legal immigrant and you had to deport them somewhere. Where like and they spoke Spanish. Where would you deport
Ethiopia.
them? Why would you deport them to Ethiopia?
I don't
They
know.
speak Spanish.
Sounds like the right place.
He's so Kilmar Abrego Garcia is being deported to Uganda.
I got it wrong. I thought it was I knew where you were going, and I was trying to rack my brain. I was like, where are they sending him? Uganda. My bad. I knew it was something.
Uganda. So they're going to send a Spanish-speaking man to an African country.
Which a judge did step in today and order that he has to be held in the U.S. pending his trial, basically. So he's not
Good. Okay.
now he's back. He was out of jail for a couple days, and now he's back in jail. But yeah, where I don't even know,
Wait,
know
why
where
did he go back to
Uganda
jail?
is. Because they arrested him on immigration charges. Like he got back.
Again?
Yeah, I saw a video where he like got to see his kids for the first time in like a year or something, and then he got arrested like the next day, and they were gonna arrest him and deport him before his case on all the, which makes me think that they know that they're worried they're gonna lose the case against him, so they're
Mhm.
trying to deport him. So that never, and the judge said no, he needs to stay here and stand trial for that.
Yeah.
So now the
Due
thing is,
process, bro.
even if he gets found innocent there, they're then going to deport him. So one way or another, this doesn't end with him living in America. Is all I'm going to say. And it's not right. I'm just telling you that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get ready for that. Uganda is. I was just checking to see where Uganda is. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's not pleasant there. I don't really know.
I think I don't know, but some of those countries over there have like open market slavery, don't they?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not qualified to say yes or no on that. I gotta think that like some left wing group will like get him from Uganda and like put him somewhere else. Like,
Let's hope so. Let's hope
just
some.
hoping.
Yeah, that'd be good. I got one more thing.
Okay.
What do you have? Do you have anything else?
I got one more video, and it's just a quick video about the Epstein Maxwell stuff from last week.
Okay, let's do yours first.
Okay. Remember when Ghislaine Maxwell's transcript came out, and I was saying that like half of MAGA is saying, okay, good, nothing to see here. Trump didn't do anything. Case closed, moving on. And the other half
Yeah.
is not buying it. Guess which camp Jim Jordan is in?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So Jim Jordan is a congressman from Ohio.
Yeah.
He's involved in this scandal at Ohio State from years ago, where like the wrestling coach was molesting the wrestlers or something, and apparently he was like a student coach on the team or something.
Uh-huh.
He was, and they were going to him and they claimed they were telling him about it, and he helped cover it up. Is their thing.
I actually was listening to something about that today, and not only it was what was that guy's name that was doing the diddling or the
At Ohio State?
at Ohio State? Yeah.
I don't know who he was.
Okay, the coach. There was
Yeah, it was. I think it was a coach of the team.
It's a pretty famous name for the coach, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, apparently the medical guy for all of the university sports was showering with all the players.
Okay.
And Jim Jordan knew about this. Like he would,
That
he would
might
take
be
like, the guy, apparently the guy was taking like 8 showers a day. And he was like the leader of the medical team at Ohio State University. And so, he'd, do the football players and he'd shower with the football players and then he'd do the wrestlers and he'd go shower with the wrestlers. And then,
So I don't know about that. Now it says it was the wrestling team's doctor, Richard Strauss. Jordan, who is an assistant wrestling coach at OSU from 87 to 95, has consistently denied any awareness about the abuse. His deposition was a key development in the ongoing civil lawsuits against the university. So some of the players claim that they told him and he helped cover it up. He claims that he had no knowledge of it. I don't know what's true on that. But anyhow, if you believe bad things about Jim Jordan, then you say he has no problem covering up things like this.
he's a cover upper.
So here's Jim Jordan. This was over the weekend, but let's hear his take on Ghislaine Maxwell's transcript and audio that was released from her interview.
We'll see. What I know is they didn't release parts of the transcript. They released the whole transcript. And you know, so you can go through the whole thing. And of course, this confirms what we all knew. If the Democrats, if President Trump had done something wrong, you don't think the Democrats would have released that? I mean, it was their Justice Department who handled all this. You don't think the Garland Justice Department and the Chris Wray FBI would have released information? We knew President Trump didn't do anything wrong here. He said that repeatedly. This transcript is the whole transcript, and it confirms that. So. Yeah, I think there's nothing there. It seems based on what we got from the interview of Miss Maxwell.
Congressman.
He said flat out. So there's nothing there. In other words, moving on. But at one point he said, and President Trump has said all along that he didn't do anything. That's not quite true. President Trump at one key point said, and every time it mentions me in the files, it's all bullshit. Meaning that whatever it said about him in the files, he's saying is not true.
Mm-hmm.
So what it says about him in the files doesn't match with what Maxwell said. And I'm not saying that he diddled kids. I want to be clear on that. I'm just saying
we are never going to see those files.
We're not going to see the parts.
I think it's worse than that. I think he was recruiting people.
So
I mean, his wife was part of the recruiting team, right?
No, apparently she was with Ghislaine while she did it, but I don't know. I've never seen an accusation that she helped recruit. She was just there. But I feel like you can say 100% for sure. There's no gray area in my mind that something in all those files is bad for Trump. Because if not, he said flat out, when all the things about me were bullshit, meaning it's a lie. Don't believe what it says in there. So now it could not be. I'm sure there could be just certain witness statements that are unproven, like where somebody said, "Oh, and Donald Trump did this," but there's no evidence behind it, just somebody's statement.
Bro, the guy's guilty as anything. I mean, all arrows point to Trump.
Not on that, on so many other things, but on Epstein,
Epstein, he was best friends with him for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Best friends. He went to his wedding. They went to each other's weddings. Or no, Epstein went to Trump's wedding. He was a member of the same golf club. There's so many accounts of women saying that they were together with him in certain scenarios that were creepy. With Trump groping women. There was also like parties where it was just him and Epstein and like 30 women.
Yeah.
And
according to Ghislaine, they weren't even friends, man.
Yeah. No, it all.
Yep.
No, it all points right to him. Also, Trump owned how many different pageants? Modeling agencies.
Yeah, he owned a modeling agency or two. He like sponsored pageants. I don't know if he owned the pageants, but yeah, there's all kinds of fishy stuff there. I actually will say I agree with the Republicans that say like if Donald Trump was like if there was concrete proof in the Epstein files that Donald Trump was diddling kids. We'd have heard about it. Somebody would have leaked it. Somebody from the Biden administration would have let it out. If there was a smoking gun on Trump. Now, if there's just a bunch of stuff that makes Trump look bad, which is what I personally think. I think there's just a lot of stuff that wouldn't look good for him. Maybe not anything you could charge him and convict him of, but just stuff that the Christian right would not look fondly of.
Something's going to come out.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to see the stuff about Trump. Not while Trump's president. We're never going to see that.
No, it'll be like 20 years from now. Something's going to come out.
As Jim Jordan said, case closed, man. It's over. Like as we knew all along, Trump did nothing wrong, is what he said.
We all have to keep talking about the Epstein stuff. Keep it going. Keep it in everybody's memory, because just that little bit of doubt when the midterms come up, or the little bit of doubt when 2028 comes up, and Trump wants to.
What's interesting? It's kind of fading away a little bit. Like it's not the first thing everybody's talking about, but the Republican House is requesting new files. And so now they are going to depose Alex Acosta, he was the attorney that gave him the sweetheart deal. And he's now currently on the board at Newsmax, and they're going to interview him. I think they just announced that today. So Republicans in the House are keeping this alive. And I'm sure Trump doesn't like that, but they're requesting more files and whatnot. So there's hope. Anyhow, what's your last thing you got?
All right, I sent you a video. Well, hold on. Have you heard of the Brazilian torpedo?
I have not.
Gabriel Araqua. Yeah. Anyway, this guy is amazing. I just thought we should bring this up because this dude, I've always thought like, oh, well, if you don't have hands, how do you swim? This motherfucker can swim.
To hold that advantage all the way through the race.
Deb, these two great friends, Abarca and Araujo, but Araujo is going to be considered favourite, surely.
Yeah, I agree. You know, one thing about Araujo that I was noticing as he walked out, right now he's focused. He's concentrated. He's ready for his race. He's very serious.
Well, he gets off to a blistering start, does Araujo, uses that underwater as well, and he's got 15 metres to use, and he'll use almost all of it as well. As he breaks water, he is well in front of any other swimmer in the pool. Danilenko and Abarca are looking to have a bit of a battle. In the closing metres of this race, it is going to be Araujo, though. It's going to be outside world record time, but it's going to be a very fast time in this final. It is Araujo who's going to claim his first gold medal of Paris 2024, and he does it in 1:53.67. The battle for the silver between Danilenko and Abarca.
Well, this was Paris 2024. Somehow this slipped by until now. Anyway,
Okay.
I thought it was pretty amazing the way he swims.
So I thought he had flippers on at first. You know, I was watching. He's got amazing core strength, I guess. The way 'cause that's all like abs, right? Abs and back muscles. The way he's humping the water.
Yeah, he's just humping the water.
I mean, that's all core strength. So that's amazing. But I thought he was wearing flippers, but it looks like he just has some ridiculously big feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's got to have strong legs and core. So more power to him. If you're somebody that has 2 arms and 2 legs and you lost to that guy, that's extra disrespectful. That's all I know. But yeah, well, the Brazilian torpedo. Okay, well,
the Brazilian torpedo, bro.
I feel like that was a good way to make me happy today after all the terrible dictator news we've gone through.
Good, yeah. I'm gonna try. We'll try and put something happy at the end of everything.
I like it. Okay, all right. I got nothing else. You got anything tonight, man?
No, man.
All right, let's meet up later in the week. Have a good night, and hopefully troops won't be in your city by the time we come back.
Colorado's next.
Yep. Later.
Later.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.